Hi there, I'm Professor Chris and welcome to our first video on threat assessment. You may look at me and wonder, who is she and why does she have the right to call herself a professor? Or what makes her think she's got the right to call herself that? And the answer is, I have a master's degree in advanced counterterrorism and homeland security, 4 years of pre-law, prosecution, not defense, and an extensive background teaching and learning in criminal justice and threat assessment and psychology and foreign language and I could go on forever. Being a published writer, etc., etc. So I'll save you having to listen to my entire resume, or CV as it would be at this point. Please feel free to stop by LinkedIn. Look me up, Christina, Christina, McQuinney, MC, capital WHINNIE. That's Mike, Charlie, capital Whiskey, Hotel, India, November, India, Echo. That's on LinkedIn and Facebook. And please send me a message, ask me questions, whatever the case may be. We're happy to hear from you. By we, of course, I mean TARMA, which stands for Threat Assessment Risk Mitigation Advisors. And we are a newly formed company that specializes in, you guessed it, threat assessment, risk mitigation, and behavioral and psychological analysis. That's also known as profiling. So how does this apply to you? It may or may not. A lot of people don't realize, A, what a threat assessment is, and B, if they're not terribly familiar with it, why they may or may not need one. So I'm going to sort of break that down for you right now. First of all, a threat assessment is when we collect a bunch of information based on a particular target, someone who may be in danger, or a structure like the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, for instance. I wrote a 30 some odd page threat assessment on them for a project for one of my classes. Because it falls into the category of being one of the 16 government sectors as outlined by the Department of Homeland Security, I did use the DHS template when I created that threat assessment. And not all, threat assessments will utilize the DHS template because they're not all that in depth. But without getting too technical here, we offer every type of threat assessment from basic, just asking a few questions and making recommendations for security or whatever the case may be, to the previously mentioned very comprehensive DHS level threat assessment, which includes the template as utilized by the Department of Homeland Security. So obviously, if the DHS uses it, it's legit, right? It's going to be very comprehensive and very serious. We have over half a dozen people on our team for TARMA all across the country, and they have, between all of us, we have over a century of experience in threat assessment, risk mitigation, and or behavioral and psychological profiling, consisting of backgrounds not only in criminal justice and law enforcement, criminal justice and law enforcement, because the two aren't mutually exclusive, and military and other types of education. So we can look at all different sort of angles when we are conducting a threat assessment to make sure we cover everything. Because obviously, if there are any cracks, we didn't do our job correctly. So one of the biggest problems that we've been looking into lately in terms of threat assessments is squatters. And I've been doing threat assessments on those. I don't know if you've seen them or not, but there have been some serious issues with squatters, and a lot of people don't realize how susceptible their properties are to adverse possession, where somebody comes in, and it's not funny, but it's so crazy how easy it is to do, and people don't realize it. It's actually kind of scary. People can come in and take possession of your property while it's unoccupied. Now, how long it takes to actually do that is different based on the particular area, geographic location that you're from, but it's possible. And it's serious. And it's a massive hassle because you come back from vacation or spending a few months in a different part of the country based on the weather, and all of a sudden you have nowhere to live, or your beautiful home that you left a few months ago is gutted of all of its beautiful appliances or furniture or whatever the case may be, and you end up spending the next 18 months haggling with these criminals in court because they came in and took your property while you weren't in it. It's awful. So we are working on that right now, and I will get that out as soon as I can. We're just sort of doing it one piece at a time because it's a lot to digest. So we are working on that. And please, in the meantime, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. My name is Christina McQuinney. That's Mike Charlie, Capital Whiskey, Hotel, India, November, India, Echo. First name Christina with a CH. I can be found on LinkedIn, Facebook, and you can leave comments, likes, whatever here, Instagram, and TRM Advising at Gmail. That's Tango Romeo Mike Advising at Gmail. Not to mention phone number 603-393-9149. If you have questions about close protection, executive protection, dignitary protection, those can be directed to the head of security and training for TARMA, Matthew Parker, who is also the CEO of his own company, Independent Security Advisors. Awesome programs, training, classes. He's just the best at what he does, period. So that's Matthew Parker, Independent Security Advisors. Just Google Independent Security Advisors. He's all over Facebook. He's everywhere. You can just Google him. So thank you so much, and I look forward to your questions, speaking with you. Please, please, please reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. We're happy to answer any of them. And be safe.